Hi, welcome back to Nana's Cookery. I can't seem to get out of the kitchen. I have no idea why I am doing this next recipe. It is chicken strips. They're very ordinary. It's a very ordinary recipe. It's chicken breasts, it's seasoned flour, it's egg with some milk, and then you just put it in breading, whether it's plain, some seasoned. And the only reason I'm doing this is because my grandchildren insist on it. I think it's more memory than anything else. They are now 18, 20, and 21. And every time they have visited me, one of the meals is Granddad's meatballs and spaghetti, and one of the meals is the chicken strips. They swear their mother's is not as good. I think it's just a fond memory. But anyway, I'm willing to do it because they want it. I've already done one chicken breast, and I've done it in strips like this. You almost freeze the chicken because it's easier to cut that way. And the fact is that when it's fresh, it's harder to cut. It's slimier. Chicken also, like every other meat when you cook it, seizes when you cook it. And what that means is it contracts, so it gets shorter and higher. When they ask you to pound veal or pound chicken breast till they're really, really thin, the reason they're doing that is because when it cooks, it is going to get a little thicker. That is not going to be the finished height of that meat. So with this, I just find it's easier to cut on the diagonal, and then I can keep moving it. I wouldn't say more than like 1/4 of an inch long, and you can see I've trimmed it. I've gotten some pieces off it. I'm not going to worry about it. They're not all going to be the same, but they're going to be similar. So we're going to finish that. I'm going to stop with that because I want to show you the next thing. First of all, I'm going to wash my hands again because, you know, you have to be very careful with chicken. And when I'm all done, I'm going to take that cutting board and I'm going to really wash it well. Even put a little bleach on it because raw chicken, same with the knife, you know, just be very careful. But I want to show you how it's done. I was telling you before about my tea towels, and so I'm using, I say a new one, but it's a very old one. This was from a trip to Italy in probably 2004. And you know, it's really thin and it's really faded, but every time I use it, I think of when I was there. So I enjoy that. The other thing is, when you do this, we're going to do it flour, egg and milk, and breading. And what I'm going to try to do is only use one hand. And the reason for that is there's no question that when you're in the middle of doing something, the phone is going to ring, the toddler's going to cry, something is going to happen, and you're going to have one good clean hand. Or if you need to go to the refrigerator to get something or additional or whatever. So when you're doing breading, whether it's this or anything else, try to keep it one-handed. And I find, you know, they have those trays for flour and all, and I used to do it in different bowls, but I found I like the paper towel because then I can move if it gets a little thinner, I can move it up and make a better pile of it. So I found that works really well. And this is simply egg, and there's 2 eggs in there now, but I have an extra egg if I need it. I have extra milk if I need it and extra flour, so I won't have to go searching for it. And the milk helps break up that egg. So I'm going to show you how to do some of these pieces. And it really is just putting flour, seasoned flour, on this little devil, putting it in the egg. I'm just going to dip it in the crumbs and put it on a plate. And so I'll just show you a couple more. You can just see it's very easy to do. I don't try to do too much at one time. But you can put more than one if you want to, and then just bread it and put it on a plate. And pretty soon you'll have a pile. And before you start frying, you want to have a pile because they cook pretty quickly. And I'll show you when I go to cook them. I'll probably only use one pan because I'm just demonstrating. I'm not going to do the whole thing. But when I cook for the 5 of us for dinner, I have 2 pans going. But I have found I cannot work more than 2 pans, whether it's for chicken or eggplant or anything else, because you're dealing with hot oil, you're dealing with things that are cooking quickly, and I simply can't control more than 2 pans at one time. I also try to have a lot of this done before I start the oil heating for the pan. I don't have to be totally done because I can continue to work while it's frying, but it's pretty quick and you have to keep an eye on it. This isn't something where you go out and do something else and come back. Frying of thin meat or chicken or whatever is done pretty quickly. So we're just going to do some more to show you how it's done. Again, very simple. And when you bring it out of the egg, kind of let it drip a little bit. You know, some of that egg can be a little glommy, whatever that word means. And so I'm just going to do a few more. And as you can see by using the paper towel, if that flour started to get too thin over there, I could just bring it up and bring it back into a pile. So I think it works really well. And then when you're done, you can just throw it away. If you're against paper goods, which I understand, you could use a towel. You could use a tea towel and do it because whatever you get on it would come out in the wash. But I just find that the paper towels are convenient for me. So I just set up the flour, the egg and the thing, and the breading, and a plate to put it on. And again, I've talked before, if you don't have this much space on a counter, do it on your kitchen table. There's somewhere where you can find a decent workspace, and that's what you need to do if you're going to be cooking. We're going to be frying these in a few minutes. Hi, we're back again to cook the chicken, and I have preheated canola oil in my frying pan, and I think it's about ready, so I'm going to just put a drop or so of water in there. And if that sizzles, I know that, wow, that's really ready. The oil was at medium, and I'm just going to drop the chicken in it. Now, this chicken's been refrigerated for a while, so it may take longer than if you just did it right after breading it. But you can put quite a bit in. As I said, I have done 2 pans at a time, but not more than 2. I don't care how many people you're serving. You just can't pay that much attention to it. We're going to let this chicken brown and turn it over, and then we're going to put it on paper towels to absorb some of that oil. And when it's all done, some people just like it the way it is. We usually have noodles with it, green peas or something, that's our dinner. And I will take some mustard and mix it with honey for people who like the honey mustard sauce. I mean, it's very easy to put together. It's about half and half. Just figure out how you want to do it and how your family likes it. And as you can see, it's done very quickly, so you have to keep an eye on it. And you just want to do it till it's brown. So it'll just be a few minutes. And as I said, you could do 2 pans at one time, and I'm pretty confident that you can do that and handle it, because otherwise you'd be here all night if you have a big family. But you do want to keep an eye on it. You want to have the oil hot enough, but not too hot. You certainly want it to be sizzling. You don't want chicken to be sitting in cool oil, but you want to be careful too. Remember, you're dealing with hot oil. So I'm just going to keep an eye on it, and then we'll just turn it over and do the other side. And it's just going to get a nice brown on it. You see, there's really nothing special about this except that they love it. Well, that's our chicken recipe, and I hope you enjoy making it for your family as much as I enjoy making it for mine. Thanks again, and don't forget to look for more videos. Thanks again for your interest. Bye-bye.